And I'll give the game away. I'll give the game away to the entire YouTube world why I've destroyed absolutely everybody in any debate ever.
In total, I've found 11 tactics Andrew uses to win his arguments. First, we will watch clips from actual debates where he uses each tactic. Then we watch him explain some of his own strategies. And we end with a summary of all the tactics. And I give practical ways how I actually learned them myself as an introvert. Number 1, interrupt at the right time.
And it's actually, no, let's stop for a second. Please don't interrupt me. Here's why I know why you're good at your job. First, you interrupt people a lot, which is good. It's a good skill.
Actually,
and then there you go, prove me right.
But here's exactly
and the timing's good.
So learn how to interrupt people, and especially with the right timing. He also points out what's happening so the viewer is aware.
What you're trying is a cheap trick, and I'm just making it clear to the
audience.
audience.
It's not a cheap trick.
So number 2, control the story. By saying this, Andrew looks like the good guy who's fighting the bad guy. Number 3, never talk about something you don't know.
I think Sandy Hook was staged.
I don't know anything about Sandy Hook.
Really? You know he's just been sued by the families for millions and millions.
I have no idea.
You don't know anything about it?
No.
And if you don't know a word or don't understand the question, just ask for clarification like here.
Are you transphobic? Do you consider yourself that?
Transphobic? What? Afraid?
Well, it kind of, yeah. You have
I don't live in fear, my friend.
Elon Musk does his here as well.
I'm not aware of that particular situation.
So you're not sure?
I don't know. I don't know about that, what exactly happened with some content situation in India.
Here's another example.
Like I said, I just don't know enough about what's going on there. I can't say I have a strong opinion on TikTok.
So by saying you don't know everything, you can't be trapped. Which reminds me of the following.
Putin speaks English. Have you ever heard him speak English? No. Because if you want to speak to Putin, you speak to him in his language. You speak to me in Russian. And I reply to you in Russian, so I cannot be misunderstood or misconstrued. I don't make a fool of myself. You can't get me on some vernacular trick. I speak my language, and I also prefer that also. I speak English, that's what I speak. If you want to speak to me, you speak to me in my language, so I will win the debate always.
So for the rest of this video, I will talk in Dutch. Just kidding. So number 4, master your language by learning more words. So you can do this.
That is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women.
Andrew knows what misogyny means, which is why he wins this point and the following.
So why would you support someone in public when you know nothing about the most infamous
When
thing?
have I supported him in public?
You have supported him in public.
I've been on his podcast.
Yeah, but you said nice things about him.
I say nice things about lots of people.
What do you
Number 5, avoid saying yes to questions.
When I meet somebody and they show me respect, I show them back. Respect. That's what I do, as I did with you.
You respect him?
If somebody shows me respect, I show them respect back.
As you can see here, there is nuance to the question. So instead of saying yes, I respect him, Andrew gives nuance like he does here as well.
Should young men, though, all aspire to be like you?
Should young men aspire to work very hard, have no criminal record, become multimillionaires, protect and provide for the women close to them, be sovereign so they can stand up and have their own points of view in face of cancellation, be able to not be mentally intimidated when they go on national TV and there's traps set up for them? Yeah, I believe that confident, strong men.
He nailed that question. He didn't say yes, men should be like me. He responded with his version, so he can't be trapped by the follow-up question from Piers Morgan, which almost happens here.
You do believe that a woman becomes a man's property at marriage?
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage, correct.
Right. Oh, you see, that to me is misogyny.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion. People will disagree with you, but don't always feel the need to explain yourself.
I want to be a billionaire. A lot of people were like, why? Because I want to. They're like, but why do you want to be a billionaire? Because I do. Around our desires, we have to defend them. This is to our parents, this is to our friends, especially when you're starting out. And a lot of people would be like, why? Why aren't you happy with what you currently have? All I do know is that I want it. And I don't need to explain why, because no one knows, including you.
And that's what Andrew does here.
Andrew, you're simply wrong.
If that's what you believe, Piers.
That's what I believe.
I don't believe in things that take power away.
There is not.
By the way, I'm Jordan, 23 years old, hired over 50 people and did over $3 million in revenue. And it's my goal to become a billionaire who is healthy and has loving people around him. To get there faster, I study experts in their fields. And on this channel, I share those golden nuggets with you. So subscribe to save yourself time. It's funny because the previous clip reminds me of an argument I had with my dad last week. He wanted me to be at my brother's first kickboxing fight at the same time as them, so we could go in together with the whole family and ensure seats next to each other. but I didn't find that important. So me and my friend go on our own time so I could finish my busy work schedule that day. And after the debate, I came to the conclusion that my dad finds things important that I don't. And exactly that is okay. Because you should not care about the priorities that the people around you push you to follow. Because you will die. And you will regret most of the things you did to please others. Now, I've never seen Andrew or Elon do things to please others. And I think you should be more selfish too. But back to the point, number 6, always remain calm, which almost went wrong here.
This stuff.
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is...
Now later in the interview, Andrew showed a much better example.
The point I'm making, if you'll please let me finish at this point.
Now what my dad usually does in our argument is... Number 7, changing subjects in a subtle way if he can't win the point. Which often happens because I'm good. Now Andrew's very good at this, but Piers Morgan as well. Watch this.
I do a podcast circuit.
You're not a feminist?
I don't know.
What do you think a feminist is?
Well, let's not change subject here, Pierce. Stay on the subject.
I know. You mentioned feminism.
Completely. But you're trying to get away from the point, because what you did is you're trying to say, because I did a podcast, I sanction all of this person's views. And I'm saying I do 5 podcasts a week. I do 5 podcasts a week, and I don't sanction 100% the views of any other person on the planet, because I'm an individual, and he has an individual views, as do you. So I don't know why you're trying to come at me with one of his views and pretend that's something to do with me.
Because it's a pretty big view.
No, but it's a lame trick, Piers, and you're better than this. So let's move on.
As you can see, Andrew rarely needs time to think. Number 8, he talks fast enough to keep the attention. And number 9, don't use ums or other filler words.
I very, very rarely start stuttering or saying, I've trained it out of my brain.
Practice makes perfect. This is what Andrew recommends when you start.
But you start slowly. You talk slowly, you breathe, you make sure you don't make any and then you get better at it, and then you can be as quick as me. Now I talk very, very fast without mistakes, without gaps.
And repeat the question when you're not sure what to say.
You're saying, so you have time to think. I'm repeating the question, so I have time to think.
Here's an example of repeating the question.
How does the flux capacitor work? I'm going to tell you exactly how the flux capacitor works. Here's how it works. Look at this.
And number 10, Andrew often talks loud to sound more convincing. Watch this.
Literally like 2 of you that have these mad views.
My views are not mad. What have I said so far? What have I said so far? Women shouldn't be man should have some authority because he should take care of his chick. Chicks shouldn't talk to a bunch of dudes.
Why are you shouting?
It's important for the mic.
No, it's not, because Joe
and that's it. So talk loud enough for the mic. Now Andrew became this good at speaking because he did it from an early age. So number 11, you need to practice more. So when your parents or friends say something you disagree with, go ahead and actually voice your opinion, something I didn't used to do. But it's actually a great habit to get into, because like Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And disagreeing with friends around you more often is low effort but high result. So to summarize and give practical ways to win more arguments and get better at speaking. Number 1, interrupt more often and especially at the right time. Number 2, control the story. And the easiest way to do this is to make you look like the good guy, or the other like the bad guy. Number 3, never talk about something you don't know. Number 4, improve your vocabulary. Andrew learns the word of the day. And I do this too, from this website, which I like the most after trying 7 of these. Number 5, avoid saying yes to questions, or run the risk of getting trapped by the prepared follow-up questions. Number 6, always remain calm. Remember, there's no advantage to being emotional. Number 7, change the subject when you can't win the point. Number 8, Andrew talks fast enough to keep the attention. And as Andrew said, you need to train it out of your brain. To do this, you need to argue more often, or get into the habit to record yourself when you get into an argument with your parents or friends, which will also help with. Number 9, don't use ums or other filler words. Instead, repeat the question to buy time. Number 10, talk loud to sound more convincing, especially when you have a strong point. And number 11, you need to practice more. And lastly, my advice to you, stop pleasing everyone around you. Disagree more often. I write a weekly newsletter where I share more of my personal golden nuggets in an easy 2-minute to read format. All for free. Click the link below this video. And remember, start living your life like it is a documentary, because it is. Someone is just not filming you yet. And watch this video next for Andrew's 13 dark psychology tricks.